Our next guest is a political correspondent for Vogue magazine. He spoke at the Democratic National Convention, and his grandfather was a very popular president of the United States. Please welcome Jack Schlossberg. Jack, I have to tell you, when I say your last name, a lot of saliva comes flying out of my mouth.
That's all right.
Schlossberg is a hard one, but I think I have it down.
Yes.
I was thinking about you today and about your existence, really, and what I was wondering if being the grandson of JFK, and I'm sure you hear probably more about this than you care to, if that is a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Jimmy. It's
great to have
amazing
you
to be here.
Yeah.
Being a part of my family is something that means a lot to me. I'm honored to be part of my family and by their legacy of public service, my ancestors, my grandfather especially. But on the whole, I would say I recommend it.
Do you get pressure from your family to be in public service? Is this something that is expected of you?
Definitely not. I think that my parents support me no matter what I choose to do, even if it's making crazy videos on Instagram about politics.
Right, which is part of your public service.
Yes,
it is how you bring attention to the things that you are talking about. Do people, because like my grandfather gave himself haircuts with a cigarette lighter, so he was not president.
Yeah.
Do people, strangers, tell you stories about your grandfather?
Yeah, well, I think President Kennedy's legacy is still alive today. I think he continues to inspire generations of Americans. He inspires me. He's my hero. And I know for a fact that he inspires some of the political leaders that are in power today that I really admire: Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, President Biden, among them. So I think President Kennedy is a timeless figure.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Yeah. And this is, I think... This is what led me to that question, because this is a photograph. Zoom in there. We see you with Nancy Pelosi and your grandpa with Nancy Pelosi as a very young lady.
You know, that was actually, she told me that was her prom dress that she wore to meet my grandfather.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Pretty amazing. It was an honor to meet her at the DNC. It was the first night I took a left and she was right there. It was so cool.
It looks to me, and I know we're reading into a still photograph, but that she's just absolutely delighted to see that face again, huh?
We get along well.
Yeah. You spoke at the DNC. Was that were you nervous about that?
Honor of a lifetime. I was definitely a bit nervous. I have my pump-up ritual. I was just doing it back there.
What is it?
Red Bull and the band Creed. I don't know if you know them.
Yes, I know Creed.
You got to get a little bit higher every time before you go out. So that's what I was doing. I was really focused on that. I wanted to do a good job, make my family proud. And so I was just listening to Creed, walking in circles in this holding room. And then about a minute before I went on stage, I got some great news. I looked really happy when I was speaking, but it wasn't for the reason you might expect. It was that they said to me, "Okay, Jack, 1 minute. Are you ready?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Okay, enter stage right, go to the podium, say your speech, don't mess up. Exit stage left, Marissa Tomei will meet you and bring you to a room with Eva Longoria." I said, "That's great. Do I have to speak?"
It's like what you imagine you might hear as you die. It's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I know, I was ready. I was definitely ready.
Like your grandfather, you have a big following on TikTok. How would you describe the videos you make for people like me who will not put TikTok on our phones?
Well, I think what I'm trying to do with my videos is to bring some levity and some humor to serious political issues, something that you know so much about and do such a great job with on this show. My videos, maybe they're a little crazy, but maybe they're just crazy enough to work.
Well, they have to be entertaining to get people interested, and your goal is to get people to vote, to get out and vote.
My goal for being here tonight and my goal for the next few weeks is to get young people excited to vote for Kamala Harris like I'm going to. I was just in...
So you're for Kamala Harris.
I'm big time for Kamala Harris.
Because I know your cousin, RFK Jr., who is your cousin, right?
I don't know him.
You're not familiar with him? I've met him. Yeah, I've met him. Was he always brainwormy like that? Did he always?
I haven't seen him in a really long time.
You haven't? Yeah. Do you ever? I know you made some videos poking some fun at him.
Yes. Well, I just think that the issues in this election are way too important for any of us to be distracted from from the choice that we have in front of us, which is between two very different futures. And I think that Donald Trump represents something that a future and a vision of America that I don't subscribe to. I'm so for Kamala Harris. I cannot wait to get out and vote for her. And so I think that anyone who distracts us from that is not helping.
And he is distracting us from that.
Well, I would say that there's a lot of other things that we could focus on instead.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about him. I do want to ask you about one of your TikTok videos,
Yes.
which I was watching. You had Doug Emhoff, who is the second gentleman, would become the first gentleman.
Yes.
And David Letterman, who's just a gentleman in general. And how did you wind up in that situation with them?
Well, I was with the second gentleman and then the original gentleman, Dave Letterman.
The OG.
The OG.
Yeah.
Dave is amazing. Dave's like the funniest, cool. He's way more handsome in person, just for everybody here. He's hilarious, and I just got to go. They invited me. They said, Jack, do you want to make a video? I said, yeah. Can we play my favorite game? And they said, yeah, sure. What's that? I said, Condiment or Sauce. You guys don't know it?
Condiment or Sauce.
Yeah.
I saw you play this with them.
I actually invented the game.
I took issue with the game. I think the game is
fine.
flawed, inherently flawed, because many condiments are also a sauce.
Well, this is the game. This is the beauty of the game.
Well, I mean, but is...
So, like ranch dressing, what would you say?
Well, I would say ranch dressing is a dressing. It's neither a condiment nor a sauce.
It's not the first time you played. I can tell.
I guess it depends on what you're using the ranch dressing for. If it's on a salad, then it's not a condiment.
But why would you put it on?
If you're dipping pizza in it, then it's perhaps a condiment. Yeah.
Or a sauce.
Or a
maybe
sauce.
It's a dressing, just like you said.
But ketchup was in there, and you said ketchup was a condiment, which I think most people would agree with, but also still technically kind of a sauce.
I think technically it's a condiment.
I think if you were to look up condiments, which I did.
I have.
Yeah, you would find that many of them are also sauces. Is barbecue
it's a chicken
sauce
and egg situation, Jim?
Barbecue sauce a condiment?
It's a sauce. Come on. It says it right there in the name.
But it's also a condiment.
That's true. God, you make a great point.
Yeah, this is a bad game show.
That's a great point.
You wasted David Letterman's time, is what you did.
I know. We could have won the election, but instead...
I also saw you telling Governor Shapiro that you put mayo on pizza. Is that
absolutely
true?
I put mayonnaise on just about everything I can.
But pizza...
You guys don't like mayonnaise?
It's
so
not
good.
a matter
It's
of liking mayonnaise. Like, I know, people like mayonnaise. I personally don't love mayonnaise, but the idea, like, if you and I were sitting together at, like, a pizza place in Brooklyn.
I would love to. Thank you.
In Brooklyn. We could do this, but you cannot put mayonnaise on the pizza in front of me, because I will throw up on your food.
I'll wait till you go to the bathroom, and then I'll do it, and I'll be fine.
Well, you're going to have to go in the bathroom with the pizza.
That's fine.
So do you carry a jar of mayonnaise with you?
Only when I have to.
It
But
spoils.
to be honest, no, I don't.
You don't?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't do that.
Okay.
But I do, I really like it. I do, I always have.
All right, well, you know what? I guess to each his own, except for
But the
pizza.
only thing more important than mayonnaise to me
is
showing up to vote this election. We gotta show up to vote.
That's one of the most skillful segues I have ever heard. Your grandfather would be very proud.
Yes. Well, did you know
Ask not what you would do for your country. Ask what or whatever it is.
Just ask for more mayonnaise. Ask for more
Get yourself
mayonnaise.
some mayonnaise.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here. Jack
Absolutely.
Schlossberg, everybody. He's on TikTok. You can see him on Vogue magazine and we'll be right back with Judah and the Lion.